It's no secret the real estate market can be a little tricky to figure out. In the Oklahoma City area, you need the experts at the Erhardt Group to guide you. We're one of the top-rated real estate teams in all of Oklahoma. We can help you buy, sell, and invest in real estate. And we've got a dedicated farm and ranch division too. The Erhardt Group for all your Oklahoma real estate needs, and proud to be a sponsor of the Simtrax Racing broadcast.
For the finest in vinyl siding, rain gutters, overhangs, storm and replacement windows, even patios and decks, trust in the experts at Ultimate Siding and Gutters. In addition to being licensed and insured, our technicians are also friendly and courteous, performing hassle-free service and installation at affordable rates. Plus, we provide free estimates for commercial and residential structures. Our entire staff will exceed your expectations. For the ultimate in siding, gutters, and much more, call Ultimate Siding and Gutters today.
One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Welcome everybody to Fort Worth, Texas. We are here at the Texas Motor Speedway. This is Simtrax Broadcasting coming to you live as we're taking a look at one of the faster guys during practice, James Loveland in the 02. Hopefully we're going to see him lay down some fast times here to kick off the Erhardt Group 250. Now this is the beginning of the round of 12. Stella joining alongside me. You've been with me here each and every race this season. Talk to me a little bit about, kind of what this starts meaning to the drivers once we start getting so late into the season.
Well, we have all new standings for this pack of 12, and we also have the best of the rest for anybody outside the top 12. So I think this will be a toss-up race for most everybody. A lot of people are saying they feel good about it, so I think we'll have a nice evening.
Sure hope so. Let's take a look at some of our top qualifying times, where Tyler Harrison in the 45 Toyota knocks down a 29.87 out there. Not too shabby there for the part-timer. It doesn't put a whole lot of time down, but he is definitely getting some big time down, and it's paying off high dividends here late into the season. Now, I would have loved to see how well he did during the regular season. If he had been here, let's see if we can find the number 21 out there of Trevor Erhardt. Looks like a little bit different paint scheme out of him. Doesn't look like we're rocking the Black Rifle coffee machine here tonight. It looks like the 21 Chevrolet is going to be doing something a little bit different, but he is still rocking that yellow stripe on the windshield, which is going to be a little offset from how our colors are in the tower. Yellow guys are out. Guys in blue are still in the chase. Unfortunately, we had some guys eliminated last round, and we'll talk a little bit about that here in just a second as we get our championship points pulled up. This is how it ended up last time. Justice Murphy, Kevin Orlando, Jacob Sirkovich, and Jeffrey Israel have been eliminated. After they shuffle the points all up, get back to some of the stage points, this is where our final 12 end up. Jeremy Burns in the lead, Caleb Gilbert and Robert Rader the last, and all three of the Element X Racing guys sitting there in the top three. Not too shabby there. Seeing also how Tire Slayer Racing comes in as well there with Trevor Erhardt and James Loveland. And take a look, all four of Performance Motorsports, but right now I'm seeing three of them here in the hot seat. Michael Bennett, Alice Forget, and Matthew Robinson. All three of those guys are in the hot seat. Nick Alves is teetering right on the edge. He's got to be careful if he wants to make that cut. So hopefully we will see if he can maintain out there and maybe possibly come away with a win. If not, wait for the Super Speedway race. Stella, we got guys lining up here. This might be a good one.
Oh yeah, it's always a good one with the Racing Revolution. They bring it. They bring it every time.
Yep. Well, we definitely can't wait to see how this uploads here. Let's see if we can get started on our starting grid here for tonight. Right now, we are taking a look at Tyler Harrison and Jeremy Burns getting started off here. Tay McDonald and Nick Alves will be starting in row number 2. Alice Forget, Justice Murphy starting in row number 3. Now, remember, Justice, unfortunately, has been eliminated. And I got to tell you what, if there's a guy with bad luck, that's him. Caleb Gilbert will be starting 7th next to Matthew Robinson, Michael Bennett, and Trevor Erhardt. Will be starting in row number 5. Starting row number 6 will be Daniel Holloway next to Robert Rader. Rader actually a little lower of a qualifying time this time, but I definitely expect to see him pick it back up, rotating on back through the remainder here of the field. Where Grant Turner, Jackson Lomax are going to start. James Loveland back in the 15th position next to Trevor Keith. Christopher Schaefer in the 23, looking to clean it up a little bit. He's been in a boatload of trouble here over the past few weeks, getting banged up a few times, but hopefully he'll end up with a fantastic finish here tonight. Nick Schell will be looking for the same as he starts 18th. The fuel calculator starting way back here in the pack, 19th, next to Carter Linz. Linz, a new driver here in the league. We'll see how he does here tonight. He has done plenty of practicing, and they have found him competent enough to race with these guys. That moves us to Jacob Sirkovich and Jeffrey Israel starting all the way back here in row number 11. Row number 12 will be Chris Nail and Dylan Smoot. Now, I'm not sure if Dylan Smoot is able to take the wheel in the 92 Ford out there, but I am not seeing any connection out of him. We may be catching him later on in this race, Stella, and I'm hoping he can rejoin as Smoot has come into this league and really put on a fantastic show and actually able to put solid times down. Barney in the flag booth. Green flag up in the air here. Right now, Tyler Harrison's going to get an awesome start here at Texas for 134 laps. We've got this lined up for. Let's get her going. Tyler Harrison in the front. Jeremy Burns will be sitting to his outside. Tyler Harrison makes a quick switch here. Does not want to waste any time. Drops back down to the bottom where the 26 of Tay McDonald, previous points leader, dropping down, seeing if he can slice underneath the 45. 45 of Tyler Harrison right now in a horrible spot, sitting crushed here in the center. He's got to be careful or otherwise he's going to end up mashed up. Alice Forget getting loose, moving around Nick Alves, and now Justice Murphy in a world of trouble as it looks like Robert Rader slices to the inside here, and connection. Nope. There it goes. Justice Murphy gets collected in it, and it looks like the number 1 of Matthew Robinson got a boatload of damage from this one. Let me see if I can get some drone footage out there of what we've got going on with his race car.
Maybe not so bad.
Yeah, Tyler Harrison ran a hot lap here tonight, but that is not paying off as he drops all the way from first to dead last now, sitting 23rd. He's going to have a lot of work here to do. Might have to fix it up, that race car, and get it squared away. I don't know if something didn't make connection or what, but the 45 Toyota definitely may have had a throttle problem. It looked like he was like half speed the beginning of this race.
Yeah, that's very unusual. I mean, normally he's a good, clean racer, gets out there, holds his own. But, getting in the middle, though, that's not always the greatest thing. But here in Texas, they should be able to do that with, I mean, the minimum width on Texas is 58 feet. So, I mean, you got plenty of room for 2, 3, 4 wide. Some of these turns, it's 80 feet wide. So, Yeah, we just need to pick ourselves up, brush ourselves off, and start all over again.
All right, well, somebody looking to kind of start all over again here in the round of 12 will be Trevor Erhardt. Quick update for his race car out there tonight. That is actually the Texas A&M scheme. Jeff Gordon ran it only once here, and guess what track it was at?
Texas.
Here at Texas, that's right. All right. So right now, Trevor Erhardt trying to see if he can put on a good show. He's moved up at least one position. That was from... looked like from Tyler Harrison sliding all the way back, and he's suffered a boatload of damage. And we might, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened here. As you see him rotate up, clips Justice Murphy. Look at Justice hold on to it there. Trevor checks up, not to get in the back of him here, and a smashed up damage. You hate to see it because Matthew Robinson had nowhere to go. And I guarantee you right now, this is not what Matthew Robinson wanted to see here. He needed a really good finish here. As you can see, he had nowhere to go. Just kind of mashes him into the wall. Hard on the brakes here, trying to see if he can get around him.
Yeah, we can still have a very good finish. I mean, we've got 130 laps to go. So, I mean, we've seen guys come from EOLs and whatnot and win the race. Travis Gilbert.
Yep. Well, Matthew Robinson is still down pit road trying to fix his damage. Up to 50 seconds in the box. Choose cone rule will be here pretty soon. He's going to have to squirt out of pit road if he wants to make it in time to remain definitely in play here. There he goes in and squirts on out. Jeremy Burns will be our new leader here. As they work their way around pit, looks like Tyler Harrison is still under repair. 3 minutes in the box. So I don't think, and I know it's kind of crazy. I think what gets me the most here, Stella, is taking a look at our race leader and qualified on the pole. I mean, a matter of 3 laps, if that. You know, we're stuck down pit road, like, you know, with a good amount of damage to that race car.
Yeah, speaking of pit road, I believe the fuel calculator just came in for a little stop and go.
Yes, the fuel calculator of Grant Thorpe. It will be joined by Jackson Lomax. Interesting enough, quick little stop and go here, 4.43 seconds for both of them. Quick top off and go. So let's see if the 96 and the 77 Chevrolets get back in line here.
Yeah, TriStar E Motorsports has something fishy going on. They've got a little plan.
Yeah, well, you saw it paid off there a little bit in the past couple of races, having those extra few laps. It kept them out there on the lead lap. Definitely something they may want to take into account at the next race. Can't wait to see how this goes. Texas being a very tough track, and most drivers say that turn 1 and 2 is really where the make or break of this race is going to be, just because of how much and how vast it has changed. Barney in the flag booth. Let's try this again. Away we go. Jeremy Burns, what a restart. Away he goes. Alex Morgette once again will be chasing him like he's done in the past few races, seeing if he can hold on and grab a hold of the 9. But Tay McDonald slides down, touches on the white line, and pulls away. Caleb Gilbert trying to follow that same line. You see him there in the 54 Chapman Environmental Services Ford, and I'm wondering where the 53 is. He's up 6 positions, sitting 6, so not too bad, but drivers are having trouble staying connected here on that track, as it is just ever so tight out there. We got a driver into the wall here, and I think that is Michael Bennett, another driver here of the Performance Motorsports gang, destroyed. That is the right front is destroyed here on Michael Bennett.
And there went a piece of it. I think he's locked up. He busted a toe link.
Yep, toe link is down. No caution out for any debris out there on the track. They're going to keep this
guys
going
real quick. They'll pick it up.
Yeah, sure hope so. Right now, our top 6 are riddled with all playoff drivers. That'll be broken up there by Justice Murphy, who still remains in 6th. Alves, Erhardt, and Loveland occupy 7th through 9th. And Daniel Holloway sitting in 11th as he tussles around back here with Christopher Schaefer. Schaefer on the outside line. You can tell he wants to duck back in, but somebody else who's below that cutoff line, Trevor Keith, and he's going to be battling to try to keep alive and keep close. Now, I know the points race down in the bottom rung of those last 6 drivers trying to pile into the round of 8 are just only separated really by about 6 points. So one bad race and guys are done for here tonight.
Yeah, it gets tight. I mean, I'm looking at the points, and the top 4, have between 14 and 26, but everybody from 5th to 12th, there's less than 10 points separating any of them. So quick could things change.
Yes, and right now the Performance Motorsports gang is dealing with a lot of damage here tonight. Michael Bennett being one of them. Matthew Robinson seeming to recover here. And we got a driver sideways. Looks like it is Nick Alves who has been tangled up. And the bashing continues as Carter Linz, the new driver, gets just a complete side there of the 23. Holy cow. Because it looked like Schaefer turned in the front of him, and Schaefer already heading down pit as he's banged up pretty bad. It looks like another broken toe link here for these drivers. Good Lord.
Yep,
fender comes off. Yep, you see the tire pointed inwards. Another driver down for the count here. Christopher Schaefer will be sitting in pit for at least 8 minutes.
Yeah, that tire was still rolling, but it definitely did not have a good cant to it.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to survive this. Let's take a look back. As the tangle up actually started a lot farther up front there with Trevor Erhardt, and it looks like Nick Alves. But it continues on. This is the worst part. Boom.
Oh. My.
I think that's actually Grant Turner as well. He got into the wall backwards, unfortunately. You see Matthew Robinson trying to squirt by here. But we should probably take a look at how all this started. Back here with the 21. I'm not sure if Nick Alves spun or came down or what here. But it looks like there's some contact here, Stella, and I'm not quite sure if this is the best angle for us to peek at this here. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have one of those quarter panel views tonight that we could see whether the NC was involved? Netcode.
There might be a possibility. Let's see if we can find something here with Mr. Alves here and see if we can...
Yeah.
Let's kind of see if we can find out what happens here, because I don't know. It looks like... Yeah, I know. It might look like Trevor might have gotten into him here.
It's definitely some contact.
Yeah, I don't know. Trevor may have gotten up into his side here. See if we can find just one more angle here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try to get right back to it here. I want to see.
You've always taught me to watch the dots.
Yeah, you do see Nick come down a little bit. Nick does come down from the wall, lining up for that turn. But I don't think he thought... I think he thought Trevor. See the left tires of Trevor? Move up. He stops. Nick comes down right there and kind of swipes across the front of his nose here, lining up for the turn. I don't think he knew that Trevor had him. And I think Trevor was trying to go up there and get a little bit of that door draft, and that just what ended up catching him up.
Yeah,
wow.
And then Loveland gives him a little shot from behind. So, my.
Yeah, 100%. As we go through the replay here, a little shuffle up here on the field, Stella. Right now, only 3 drivers have not pit. Those guys sitting in the top 3, Tay McDonald, Alice Forget, and Trevor Keith. Everybody else has decided to come down, except Grant Thorpe, Jackson Lomax, and Jeffrey Israel. They came down and visit pit road on lap 3 and 4. Everybody else has just come down and done a little touch and go here on lap 11. Might have thrown some tires on, some just fuel and go. So we've got new tires, we've got old tires, we got full of fuel, we've got no fuel. We've got boy, this is going to shuffle it up here for the beginning of this stage. which is at lap 40, if I do believe so here, Stella. So what do we expect here with these different strategies?
Well, I don't quite know, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure what our window is here tonight on this mile and a half. You might be able to tell us better as far as what a mile and a half usually brings. Is it 35 laps? Can they make it? Well, I know they can make it to the stage break now, but just curious.
Yeah, it could be. I would probably expect us to probably hit around 28 to 33, and guys are going to be trying to squeeze it. I don't know. The fuel calculator may know just a little more out there of Grant Thorpe and the 77 Chevrolet. Hopefully, he's gauged this right here as we're trying to see if we can find out, if Grant knows a little more. If he hangs back here in the pack just a little bit, which now everybody's pit, that slides him 14 positions up into 5th. If this is going to pay off, does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? This is going to be the call. And right now, we've seen Grant Thorpe, flip-flop the entire field here by making a great fuel call and then slinging up and making it work. So, Tay McDonald, Alice Forget will be in the front here. It looks like Trevor Keith, Jackson Lomax will be starting in the second row.
Now, Jeremy Burns ended up here in 6th going into the green flag. Was that just due to choose cone?
No, that was actually due to his pit stop. He was the first one out of pit on lap 11, and Tay McDonald is going to be the first one across the line to start lap 15 as we get back under green. 2 cautions here on the night before the stage. We're hopefully not going to see another one here as drivers are still tussling here in the back, looking to waste absolutely no time. As you see Robert Rader slicing around. We got our eyes on Jackson Lomax, and we are tangled up again. Looks like a driver here from Element X is into the wall. The 54 of Caleb Gilbert has been blasted here. And I don't know if Jackson Lomax has suffered enough damage. He's going to have to come in. I think he's broken a toe link. Left front for him. Dude.
But they came down to the inner apron so quickly that we have avoided a caution for that little snafu.
Yeah, they have not rotated back into the field, so no problems there. Trevor Keith is one of the drivers who is yet to pit. Nails turn 1 and 2 faster than anybody else on the track out there with a 14.99, the only one to break a 15-second mark between 1 and 2. And like I was saying before, where drivers kind of weigh their options here, if they're going to be the fastest and are they going to win the race, is nailing 1 and 2. They've got to hit it, and that's exactly what you're seeing, as he seems to have kind of definitely dialed this in right from the beginning here. Does it pay off? Does it work? We'll have to see, because right now Trevor Keith is doing a fantastic job battling alongside Alice Forget on the outside and trying to run down. Looks like Tay McDonald. Ooh, little shot there from those two. Right now, I guarantee you Trevor Keith is not happy about his turn entry, as the 19 gave him a little paint to remember him by, as Alice Forget falls off in the 3rd. Fuel calculator sits 4th, and Justice Murphy wishing he had this position last race.
Yes, or the 6 before that. I'll tell you though, we've got some activity out there on the chat. Jade and Devin Hudgens are out there. Not quite sure what the Stella for the dub is, but we have Jessica rooting on Forget, and we have Derek and Debbie out there for Jeremy Burns, and of course we have Terry Erhardt, who is sponsoring tonight's race.
Oh yeah. Really appreciate the Erhardt group signing on, and definitely not the first race, and I'm sure won't be the last to come out here and sponsor a few of these races. They definitely believe in the Racing Revolution League and what they do out here on the track. They have been doing a fantastic job, and we really appreciate them signing on. And we hope they are hopefully in a little bit of talks here for Season 4, seeing how well Season 3 has gone. I've actually been with the Racing Revolution halfway through their first season, and I've got to admit, this league has grown immensely. Guys, if you are racers out there, you want to give these guys a try, learn a little bit, some road coursing out there from Jeremy Burns, Justice Murphy, or even Trevor Erhardt. They can show you how to get it done. You can talk to Mr. Restrictor Plate out there of Michael Bennett and Matthew Robinson if you want super speedway guys. And if you want those mile and a halfs, man, we got Caleb Gilbert and we got James Loveland, and the king of the concrete, we've got Alice Forget. So I mean, we got just a slew of drivers out here, and I'm really pleased to come out here every week and bring these guys because they do an awesome job here with how many different angles and how many different ways these guys have raced throughout the seasons. But hopefully, we are to see the Erhardt group return back for season number 4. Right now, we have kept our eyes on the number 9, the mountain man of Jeremy Burns, who's fighting on the outside of Trevor Erhardt. Right now, he is in Nick Alves' position. He better watch out, as these two look like they're getting ready to get pretty close to each other, as we've got at least three drivers sitting here. Jeremy Burns, Trevor Erhardt, and Robert Rader. Rader looks like he forgot his stripe here tonight as they changed up the paint scheme of the number 53. And James Loveland sits right behind him. But Justice Murphy, the only driver here in the top 10 to break up the playoff drivers. And Jacob Sirkovich was in there as well. And I was going to say the drivers from BDE, all of them have been eliminated from the playoffs, so they may have to go back to the drawing board and try to practice a little harder coming into next year. If there are going to be any driver trades, there might be a possibility of that. I'm sure a couple of people are going to be kind of toying around with breaking up Element X Racing, as they have absolutely dominated this entire season, just able to come up with the answers when they need to. But Stella, I want to talk a little bit about Matthew Robinson here. Now, this guy has moved all the way from a wreck, fixed enough damage, and is toying around here in the top 10. This is looking awesome here by the number 1.
Yeah, I was noticing, Rader's already been in a kerfuffle, as well as Erhardt and Rader, and they have made their way all the way back up again. That's some hardy driving there.
Yeah, now I've been taking an eyeball there on Robert Rader during practice. He has ended up in the wall multiple times because he is unable to maintain any kind of traction in the 53. And Rader now falls down to 10th as Matthew Robinson slides up to 9th. You can see he's calm, cool, and collected and poised here to strike. Definitely doing a fantastic job returning back to the top 10, and this just isn't placement, for moving on to the stage, but those stage points are ever so critical here. So a lot of guys have really got to nail down some solid times here. And Matthew Robinson, appreciate the angle here, buddy. I like seeing what I'm seeing. We were getting a whole lot of forehead there from his last camera angle, but he brought it down. That way we can see his hand controls. I like seeing what we can do. We'll hopefully end up with brand new camera angles from some of our other drivers out there. They're going to be looking to have a good time and try a few different things. Now, I do want to say that Tyler Harrison has returned back to the track. Harrison is down a few laps right now, showing about 8. Michael Bennett is down, I believe, 14. So got that toe link fixed. Back out onto the track he goes. Bennett now remains in 22nd. Christopher Schaefer sitting 23rd, has taken it to the garage. The 23 Chevrolet has, and I believe Jackson Lomax in the 96 Chevrolet has taken it back to the garage. I am not showing any times nor any repairs being done by that pit crew. I don't know if they're heading back to a backup car and they may return, but it is not looking like that at this point as we are halfway through lap 28 here. We still got about 12 more laps before the stage as we're taking a look at Nick Alves trying to put Rader out of the top 10 here, as Nick Alves might have bit off a little more than he can chew here. Down on the bottom he goes. Alves slides up in the 10th, not too shabby here. But Stella, we both know Rader. He sits back during these races and goes up there and pushes it. But right now I want to see Grant Thorpe. Looks like he's getting into it here with Justice Murphy.
Oh my goodness, Justice, just try to stay out in front there. Let's see you get top 5 finish tonight. That would be great.
Yeah, right now I'm taking an eye and keeping a look on Justice Murphy as he comes down that backstretch. Huge run by him as he came up chasing Alice Forget. Look how he's getting along these straights here. Whatever it is, Justice Murphy has a boatload of speed coming out of these turns and getting into the turns. Murphy underneath, nailing for a third place here. Slides around Alice Forget, who may have burned up his tires here, as the number 12 All About Bug Chevrolet lines up himself up for a podium position here, at least for points. Boy, he's going to wish he could have wrote this all over again and brought this back, because, man, where was this when he needed it? Like you were saying, not only by about six races ago, man, did he need this, as it looks like he's going to slide around Trevor Keith here with 9 laps left to go in the stage.
My goodness, yeah, he seems to have hit an afterburner stage here, as far as like you were saying, into and out of these turns. That's phenomenal. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of people out there having a good time tonight. We've got Shannon who and Joe, who are rooting on Jeremy Burns. Terry Hutchins is out there now, and let's see, Daryl. We've got somebody out there rooting on Tay. We should take a look at Tay out there all by himself in the front.
Boy, I like how you say that. I was going to say Devin Hutchins was giving you the win out there for the quarter panel replay. He's also rooting on Justice. But I was getting ready to say, after you talk about that, we were going to give a look at Tay McDonald. Now, Tay was out front by almost 1.8 seconds. That has been cut in half here by Justice Murphy. Murphy now picking up the pace. Man, where he's racing like he's got nothing to lose here. Justice Murphy, look how far off the white line he is going. He only goes down and touches that white line when he absolutely needs to. But you notice Tay is not going to the top of the track here. He remains in the middle. Boy, that is going to be something. Whoa! Justice Murphy uses every little bit of that draft he can, as now Justice Murphy takes the lead here. Now, a couple of drivers who have not pit is Trevor Keith and Alice Forget have not pit. Justice Murphy did pit back on lap 11. Trevor Erhardt is trying to run him down here, but right now I think this is trying to be a little poke in the eye from the All About Bug Chevrolet, as we are riddled with Chevrolets all in the top 5. And just now arriving to the top 5 is Matthew Robinson. That he makes it all the way back. Grant Thorpe, our biggest mover of the race, picking up 15 positions, sitting 4th. Not too shabby there by the fuel calculator, but let's get a little closer here to Nick Alves, and I believe Alves is out there battling it along with the Mountain Man. Right now, Nick Alves, being one of the few Performance Motorsports guys here in the top 10, is now surrounded by Element X racers. He's got to be getting nervous here, but check out Daniel Holloway, Stella. Daniel Holloway is in the top 10 here after you see him get bumped and nudged, and he was involved there on the lap 10 caution. Yeah,
he's hanging in there, and yeah, having Element X in front and behind, Nick Alves has to be kind of white knuckling that steering wheel right now. Man, I almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah, well, they almost got rear-ended there. I was taking a peek at that. Somebody else who might be white-knuckling it here is Robert Rader. Rader just came off 1 and 2, almost sideways. Looked like Daniel Holloway almost went up and rear-ended him there. The 53 has been all sorts of ugly here tonight. Right now, that he is not happy with this race car. This thing is all over the track, and he is desperately trying to wrangle this thing in to see if he can get it back under control here. So Rader fighting the car, and he's not happy about it here. Hopefully he will be able to maintain as he follows by Nick Alves. Alice Forget on his way down pit road. Unfortunately, hopefully he does not go down the lap here as they head into the stage. He may get the wave around, but we'll have to see. Let's take a look where Daniel Holloway almost getting to the back of the 53 here. And Erhardt now trying to make a chase and a bid for the lead, only off by less than a quarter of a second here. And they separate themselves by over a second from the rest of the field. But here comes Erhardt coming around to turn number 4. You see that front end drag. That's going to be painful as the 21 loses a lot of speed and a lot of distance on that. Justice Murphy trying to scurry away here to see if he can get just a little more here. But, Stella, consider this. Both these drivers, previous BDE members, have separated here for this season. I'm wondering if a little camaraderie later on in the season, now that Justice Murphy is out of the running, what this will mean for these two road course racers out here on the track as they come here to the line for lap number 40. as they work their way on through. Trevor Erhardt in the 21 Chevrolet is going to try to see if he can make one more shot at it here as Justice Murphy pulls around turn 1 entering 2. Not too bad. Trevor Erhardt trying to set him up, taking a little bit of a lower line. We'll keep an eye on this. This is looking pretty close. Right now, Trevor Erhardt might take a higher line. He is. Justice Murphy going to have to play a little defense here as the 21's going to have the run. Here he comes, Trevor Erhardt, Justice Murphy with a block, and that's sending a message. Justice Murphy's going to get the win there for the stage in the front, and I tell you what, that is sending a message to Trevor Erhardt and the rest of this team, of everybody out there, is notice who else top 10 scored points. Chris Nail, a new driver out here in the 88, and Jacob Sirkovich in the 18 Chevrolet, another BDE member. So both the BDE members here tonight have gotten into the top 10 here at Texas. And it is such a tough track. You know, really, it makes you wonder, man, could these guys have possibly just for once have gotten Texas, you know, outside of the playoffs? And these guys may have had a better chance to get in.
Well, like I was saying at the beginning, there's people that love it and people that hate it. I don't see the huge weirdness of this track. I mean, granted, turn 1 and 2 have a 20-degree banking, and 3 and 4 have a 24-degree banking. But why that should make such a difference as far as their racing lines and whatnot? How it's not like the ones that have 3 different turns. You know, you can get one, or you can get this one, but not all of them. These guys should be racing pretty clean, and they're not.
No, well, what ends up happening, Stella, is these guys just have so much speed coming off that front stretch, because the front stretch is much longer and they can pick up so much more speed. Now you've taken the turn and flattened it out. So everybody ends up hitting that turn and riding and washing up the track where they don't want to be. You don't end up with as much speed down the backstretch. So when they try to exit the turn, instead of the banking keeping them hooked in, they are fighting so much of that car trying to wash up the track that the right side tire wear just absolutely butchers them. The track butchers the tires, and these guys just can't maintain the traction all the way through. So what you end up seeing is everybody hates turn 1 and 2, and you have to have a specific entry because you can't depend on the track to help cup you and hook you in. So 3 and 4, much more favorable. So they're able to carry a lot more speed out of 3 and 4. They get so much more speed coming down the front stretch, and then I plateau going into 1 and 2. So, you know, yes, it may only be a couple degrees, but, man, you see it changes the track and just changes how everybody else takes that turn, and that's just something else that these guys just have to deal with. But we are going to see if we can grab a hold of another driver out here and see if I can grab him here. And I definitely want to talk to him here in just a moment. I do want to make sure his pit is all over. Lap 42 is when he did come down. Let me see if I can grab a hold of Mr. Robinson here. Matthew Robinson, you got a copy?
I hear you, buddy. Loud and clear.
All righty, man. Well, we were able to grab a hold of you here. Talk to me a little bit about what the special day is today.
Special day is my grandmother's 100th birthday. Happy birthday,
Wow.
Eva. Congratulations on making it this long. I love you.
Go, Grandma.
All right, not too bad. Matthew Robinson, you ended up in a tangle up here in this race, and I'm hoping Grandma is out there watching you, man. 100 years old. Man, I would be happy to make it halfway there. That would be something, man. But this is tough, and especially Stella hitting triple digits. That is a feat. That is something. So whatever she's doing, she is doing it right. So happy birthday, Grandma, out there. Matthew Robinson gives you a shout out. I do want to talk to you, Matthew Robinson, now here for just a moment. Dude, we ended up in a tangle up out here. Talk to me about your kind of the mindset after kind of coming into contact with the wall with Tyler Harrison facing you the wrong way.
Well, it gave me about 2 minutes optional. Got in, got the first minute done, and then that second yellow came back out, and I was 100%. So then it was just go to the front. So We'll see what we can do up here and see what happens.
All right. Well, we have been keeping an eye on you. You have bounced back, coming back out in the top 5, man. Fantastic job. Your Chevrolet is doing exactly what it needs to, but now is the long stretch. How do we, what's the way to beat these guys? Is it pit strategy? Is it the turn entry of 1 and 2, or is it kind of teamwork here toward the end of the race?
It's going to be a mix of both. It's definitely going to be a mix of fuel strategy and just trying to keep pace. I mean, tires are huge here. You run 20 laps, you're a second and a half behind.
Oof. All right. Well, hopefully we'll not see that much fall off. Unfortunately, one of your teammates out there, Michael Bennett, I'm sure he's not real happy out there at the moment. He's got a boatload of trouble and a boatload of damage, man. And hopefully we will be able to see him return. Matthew Robinson, just in case I don't talk to you here in the end, give me your shout-outs here, buddy.
Shout-outs to Performance. I love my team. I mean, these guys are here for me all the time. We're here for each other all the time. Stim Tracks, you sponsor me. Love it. You guys are awesome. And just to everybody in the league, everybody that sponsors us, All About Bugs, everybody.
All right, and don't forget the Erhardt group. Yeah.
Oh, I know. And the Erhardt group.
There you go. All right, good luck to you, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, everybody, that is Matthew Robinson out there. He is going to be hoping to get a solid finish here tonight. Boy, he has been working his way up. Stella, he is pumped. You can feel it as the pace car lights are off. Man, oh man, it has got to be one heck of a scene to get right at this point right here. You don't see a sea of cars in front of you, and what you end up with is a sea of cars behind you, which is exactly what you want to see. But let's get ready as Barney is in the booth. Green flag about to wave as Justice Murphy and Grant Thorpe getting here in the front. Away we go. 1 and 2. Away they go. Justice Murphy and Grant Thorpe out in the front. Let's go ahead and keep an eye on them there as Grant Thorpe, Trevor Erhardt, Jeremy Burns, Matthew Robinson match up our top 5. Funny part about it, Murphy, Thorpe, Erhardt actually used to be all BDE members back last season, but have all separated to their own teams. But take a look at Jeremy Burns, the mountain man, dropping down to the bottom on those fresh tires, trying to see if he can get that number 1 behind him there and pushes forward a little farther here into the top 5. He looks like he's got Matthew Robinson by only about a nose here, but check out who's right behind him, ready to strike as well. Robert Rader. Now remember, he has been kind of garbage all race here, trying to see if he can hold on to it here, but his car is definitely trying to figure out how to get through it there, working behind Jeremy Burns to push him on through. It looks like they are not going to tuck in and take a high line here. They're going to go ahead and spend the fresh tires and push it down on the bottom. But Robinson, look at the separation. What a turn 3 and 4 as he pulls away, sending Jeremy Burns about another tenth of a second behind him. And Robinson picking up the pace on the outside line. He might have something going here.
He might have got a note from Justice, because he was barreling into that turn. Very good.
Yeah, right now this is excellent work there by Matthew Robinson as he's now on the outside of Trevor Erhardt. Erhardt doing a lot of work here on the inside. Contact with the wall. Looks like Rader might have been into it there a little bit. If not, that was the 88 there of Chris Nail. I see a little bit of scraping there on the right front fender. Hopefully the 88 will be able to maintain here. Let's float back up where it looks like Matthew Robinson, 3rd place for him. So line him up for a podium. He's going to want it. He definitely needs it, as you can feel how those points are coming in ever so critical each and every lap. But Robinson has got to be careful not to fry the tires off here so early. These guys sit back and let them race, and then they will attack later on here in the run. Let's rotate on back where Alice Forget sits 13th. Grant Turner sits 14th. Nicholas Shell sits 15th. Caleb Gilbert, we remember seeing him slide down and hit the bottom. And Trevor Keith sits 17th. Any idea why, Stella?
Trevor Keith?
Yeah.
What happened?
I'm not sure. Looks like Trevor Keith did pit back on lap 34. Did not come in during the stage. So Trevor Keith drops down to 18th along with Tay McDonald. McDonald out there running on old tires back on lap 33. But he only came down one time for these guys. Nobody's taken tires. Both these guys, both Trevor Keith and Tay McDonald, came down and got fuel only.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty tough. I don't know if that was 100% called or they are setting up for later on here in the race, but that could be huge. But Stella, take a look at our top 10 as we right now, Alice Forget and Nick Alves are out of the top 10 here, and they got to fight their way back in as drivers who are not in the chase still remain in the top 10 as Justice Murphy, fantastic here, leading by almost, leading just over a quarter of a second over Matthew Robinson.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I noticed Grant Thorpe came out really quick from the pits this last time, and I was going to ask you if you could kind of tell as we peak as far as his time. Did he choose to take tires or not?
Which who was it again?
Oh, 77, Grant Thorpe.
77 of Grant Thorpe. Yes, he decided to take tires. Everybody took tires except Trevor Keith and Tay McDonald.
Oh,
and they
okay.
did not pit. It looked like they remained out there on the track. I don't know if something happened. They may be expecting an early caution we might just get as we're taking an eyeball, kind of a bird's eye view over James Loveland here. Super loose out of the 0-2. Right now, Loveland is one of our top 5 guys in the points, and he is ever struggling, just same as Raider, and I'm wondering if they got the same car chassis set up here because it is doing nothing but fight them here the entire length of this track, and they just can't seem to get a break here. Alice Forget sliding up into 7th position. He continues on his charge. 22.5 seconds down pit road for him, back on lap 43, and he is on the move. So fixing a little bit of damage, getting enough fuel and tires on that car, and it may come to pay off. But check out Matthew Robinson continuing to think about toying, aiming for a lead spot here. Try to put the number 1 in the number 1 spot, but it looks like right now that's not going to happen. Justice Murphy has been on a tear, and really, if you consider it there, Stella, Justice Murphy came on hot late in the stage. So I would wonder, how long run speed is going to work for these guys, seeing how the yellow flags come out and kind of the timing of those as Matthew Robinson gets real close to Justice Murphy's bumper here and tries to get him again.
Well, he might have come out late in the stage due to the fact that somebody kind of clipped him early in the stage. But we do have Devin Hudgens out there and Terry Hudgens, both impressed at Miss 100. So, and Shannon is still rooting on Mr. Burns, and Daryl says Tay and Keith were a lap down, so they took a wave around.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, they took the wave around. They had to stay out. But that's what I was saying. Unfortunately, we're unable to take tires as Matthew Robinson breaks a little loose here, and now Trevor Erhardt's going to be all over him as we're taking a look off the back bumper here, actually the back roof of Justice Murphy. Taking a look at Erhardt, trying to see if he can slide underneath. He's going to see if he can get a little bit of that draft help here from Justice Murphy and see if he can help run him down. So the battle for second heats up again as Trevor Erhardt looks to reclaim his position, who was originally in second place. Down on the bottom he goes, and now look who decides to show up. Jeremy Burns here in the number 9. He's trying to see if he can come up and make something happen, but it looks like it might fizzle out here if Matthew Robinson can get that car under control.
yeah, he's got one heck of an entry as far as picking up pace. I mean, for him to leave Trevor Erhardt like that is impressive.
Yeah, he's definitely putting down some solid times here. Trevor Erhardt may be pedaling it out there just a little bit. Do want to say out there, Shannon is rooting on Jeremy Burns. I can notice he is rocking a Dallas Cowboys blanket there in the back. I'm hoping he's just giving a shout out here for anybody who's rooting on for these guys at Texas. But look who's moving up. Alice Forget, here he comes. Moving on the inside of Robert Raider. Raider now going to be put another position back. Alice Forget, here he goes. Definitely looking pretty solid here, representing the Pepsi up there on his dashboard there. Definitely what some people would call the nectar of the gods. But
Really?
as they move on through. Let's see, I think Trevor Erhardt might have had him here. This might be a quick little slide. Erhardt on to the outside. Looks like he has got that car on control. Robinson, quick, but you see that little touch with the paint and what it's going to cost him here.
Yes.
That does cost him a few positions, allowing Erhardt and Burns down he goes. And now it looks like Alice Forget is going to be the next one to attack.
Wow.
Ooh, little shove.
No attacking like that.
Well, especially from two teammates here.
Oh, my heavens.
Looks like Forget might have come up and popped him right in the rear. Matthew Robinson getting way loose. He's got to calm down. Now, I would probably say this is where the veteran status from some of these drivers here. He's got to slow it down. I understand things might not be going his way, but stop, go back to the roots, hit your fundamentals, start hitting your marks, and then the race will come back to you. So it's very, very difficult, and it takes a lot of time behind the wheel to learn that. Now, right now, Alex Forget, Matthew Robinson, both learning that here in the Racing Revolution League, as this race is still being led by Justice Murphy, with Trevor Erhardt quickly trying to chase them down. But it looks like we are back under fire again here, where Robert Rader's trying to see if he can run down James Loveland. Loveland picking up 11 positions here on the night, exactly identical to what Grant Thorpe does, as he sits back there in 8th. And it looks like so far so good for James Loveland. No trouble out of him all race. And I guarantee it, he is he's feeling pretty good about tonight, as I was nervous during his qualifying time how low he was. He has returned here back to the top 5, and really a top 5 finish would be fantastic for him and his team, seeing how they've kind of fizzling out here just a little bit toward the end of the season.
Well, Loveland and Rader, those are 2 drivers in this league that I really don't worry about it much when they don't qualify in the top 10. They are perfectly capable of making up those places either through pit strategy or just patience and running their line.
Oh, yeah. Let's rotate on back. Jeffrey Israel up 9 positions, sitting 13th. The only driver from Element X Racing not being able to compete here in the playoffs. I think he had 1 no-show there in the round of 16, and then just was unable to get a solid placement there toward the end of the run. Jacob Sirkovich as well, moving up to 12th. Daniel Holloway, not too bad out of the Hershey Kiss machine. Looks like the Candyman is on a roll here. He's maintaining 11th position, where Nick Alves remains in 9th, not skipping over Chris Nail. Nail was sitting 9th, but Nick Alves goes ahead and slings on past him. So not too bad here, as the Performance Motorsports team has at least 2 drivers here in the top 10. They've got a lot of work, and we've got actually 3 of them in the top 10. Alex Forget, Nick Alves, and I believe Matthew Robinson, who is right in front of him here. And these guys starting to sit 1 and 2, or actually 6th, 8th, and 9th. 1 and 2 that we're taking a look at here. It's not looking too good here for Performance Motorsports, and you kind of wonder what they need to do to maybe offset pit these guys and see if they can maybe take this race and put it back into their field to see if they can topple over Element X, who has been just absolutely on fire, in the regular season and in the playoffs here.
Wow, that was a heck of a pass by Mr. Nick Alves, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I wasn't sure. It did look like there was some communication there. Matthew Robinson may have went ahead and let him on around. Robinson is way out of shape here, and I'm wondering if he is fighting some hot tires on the right side. He may have pushed it a little too hard, trying to stay out in front of Trevor Erhardt. And that's what I was saying. He was on the charge up, but you don't want to charge up so fast that you burn the tires up. So definitely some work here for Matthew Robinson, as he might drop out of the top 10. We've got Chris Nail and Daniel Holloway looking to strike next. Let's see if we can rotate on back, where Carter Linz, one of the drivers, to end up with some damage here out on the track. The number 66 Ford, Nicholas Schell in the 58 Chevrolet, chasing behind Grant Turner. Now we took a look at Grant Turner. Remember, he was actually with the driver who was backwards back on lap 10 during that caution. So he still remains out here on the track. He's been fixing damage each time he comes down. He had 20.75 seconds down pit road in the 06 Chevrolet, and it looks like Nick Schell, slicing to the inside here, is going to overtake Grant Turner. But Turner, there you are. Right now he's feeling pretty confident as he slides on the outside. Grant Turner trying to hold it on there, but the outside line seems to prevail for most drivers. Unless you were in the fresh air like Justice Murphy, he's definitely able to take whatever line he wants whenever he wants. So fantastic job here by all our drivers, not bringing out another caution. Last caution we had was our stage break about 30 laps ago. Now, Stella, we remember about our stages and kind of these guys have, and they're kind of their pit window. Right now, we're going to be nudging it here pretty close, hitting lap 72. Will be exactly 30 laps from the last time they pit and the amount of fall off is pretty intense. Best time out there, let's say, for a driver like Trevor Erhardt with a 29.96 is now running a second slower with a 30.8. So we're starting to fall off pretty good here, and they might want to start thinking about when it's time to fuel, put some new shoes on these machines and get them back out there.
Yeah, that sounds good. That strategy, we've got one taker already to the pits, and we've got Shannon out there saying that she will forgive Burns for his Cowboys blanket, but Caroline and Coev Burns are rooting him on. He's got one heck of a crowd out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I definitely want to hope that each and every one of them have subscribed, please, to the channel. I would love to see what happens if I get monetized. Cough, cough.
Ooh.
As Grant Thorpe slides into that 6th position, the fuel calculator taking off, getting out in front of Alice Forget. And that was the battle we were tuning into there, as it looks like Nick Alves might be sandbagging it here a little bit as he runs up on another teammate. Later on here into this run, Alves down onto the bottom, and notice it is working out a lot better. Now, it makes me question just a little bit with some of these times that these guys are running out there. This is a fixed setup league, so it's not like any real adjustments can be made. No air pressure can be adjusted, no wedge. I think all they can do is adjust brakes, adjust their steering sensitivity, and that's pretty much it. They go out there and they let them rip.
Justice is just taken to the pit, so I'm kind of curious whether some others will follow the leader.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Right now, if they are not following the leader, as Trevor Erhardt now takes the lead, he'll be out by over half a second over top of Jeremy Burns. Burns, I expect to either I expect to see him come down the exact same time as Trevor Erhardt. He definitely he wants to try to beat him on the driving skill and not on pit strategy here, as this seems to be working out pretty well. Burns is reeling him in, by the way, with James Loveland close behind him. Jeffrey Israel and Carter Linz from the 12th and 13th position. Their Fords are working their way down pit road here so far, but Burns, huge drop-off here, coming out of 1 and 2. I don't know if Earhart's got the memo here, as he knows he's in the lead, but now he's starting to make the separation here. Puts another 10th, 2 tenths, 3 tenths this lap. Boy, he is on fire now, as we were talking originally on his fall off. That is not the case here. Now they are picking up speed as drivers are coming down pit road. Alice Forget, Nick Alves, Jacob Sirkovich are on their way down pit, as well as Caleb Gilbert. So now we kind of toss it up again here, Stella. Guys are now, tossing around with pit. Top 8 drivers have yet to pit. Here they come. Right now, James Loveland will take the lead. Here comes Jeremy Burns, and watch Raider. Woo, man, Raider almost getting speeded into pit.
That was like
lane there.
Last-second decision. I'm really glad there weren't any barrels there.
Yeah. How many times have we seen Robert Raider make another position pass by being able to fire into pit road just in time?
Too many.
Definitely a boatload. We've seen him fly in there, and he's even said himself that he's come down pit road very, very fast, if not slicing in there as absolutely fast as he can at that line, where some guys check up, 6 to 8 lengths before. He tries to get it within half a car length and lock him up right before he gets in. Tracks like Dover are not friendly to something like that. Martinsville are not friendly to something like that, which, we still have Martinsville later on this season, so that should be still a good race that we should be looking forward to, but we are already halfway through the Erhardt Group 250 here at Texas. The fuel calculator has finally hit the last 10th. He wants to come on down. Locks him up, sliding past the yellow cones here. And it looks like the last driver on the lead lap will be coming down pit. Justice Murphy just sliced around him here, and he's got to hurry up as Grant Thorpe comes down for some tires and gets fuel. And Justice Murphy may or may not regain the lead here, as a 34-second gap separates these two.
Wow. Yeah, if he... no, not with 4 tires. He's not going to beat him out.
All right, let's see if we can find out where Justice Murphy is. Here he comes, sliding around as he shoots on through. Right now, Grant Thorpe working his way down a pit. Here he comes, sliding on around. There's Grant Thorpe. There goes Justice. Bye. Justice, yeah. So Justice Murphy now out in front of Matthew Robinson by 2.5 seconds.
Wow.
Justice Murphy came down on 73. Matthew Robinson came down 71. And Trevor Erhardt came down on lap 76. Just trying to wrap up, everybody, how these pit strategies are going. So the number 12 remaining in the lead here. So far, so good out of Justice Murphy. Man, this definitely seems to be his race. As if I am not mistaken, that is a Cincinnati Bengals jersey. Huh.
Yeah.
What? What is this NFL scheme we got going on here?
I don't know.
Well,
but
we have the
maybe
Cowboys. We got the Bengals now. What is going on here?
It's a precursor.
Now, hopefully this is going well. Right now, Justice Murphy couldn't be happier. Actually, he probably could if he was still in the playoffs here. But, man, just look at the distance.
If it was lap 133.
Yeah. Yeah, try to finish this one up. I guarantee he could definitely use this one kind of shutting down and being over.
My heavens, yep. Jeremy's got Julie and DeSwamp out here. Just Burns, move it up. Go, go, go. So, and DeSwamp's very happy there are no barrels.
Oh, boy. Yep.
I wonder if they've encountered the, All About Barrels award.
Yeah, no, not yet. That's my little surprise.
Oh.
Alrighty.
I just mean DeSwamp knew what we were talking about.
Yeah. All right, taking a look back at Trevor Erhardt. Look how he's pushing on the back of Matthew Robinson here, trying to sling him out of shape. I would probably guess that the 21's trying to push one through and try to rotate it on up. And Terry is even saying the iRacing Texas is much better than the real Texas race. I would probably say so. I have seen actually quotes out there that people are recommending that NASCAR go back to its roots and stop chasing the TV ratings, stop changing the cars, and go back to the old Gen 5s and Gen 6s here and let the guys have at it. Go back to the real racing here. But next gens is what we're going to have as we continue on through. Trevor Erhardt slides to the outside. 21 overtaking the one here on the front stretch, and it looks like Robert Rader might come into play here in just a moment. 14.43 in his pit stall has allowed him to overtake Jeremy Burns and keep on the roll. Oh, Robinson.
Hold it, babe. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, let me tell you right now, somebody's probably going to be screaming here in a second. We are not going to turn that man's camera on. Let's try to see if we can keep it under wraps here as we find Rader out in front. Rader trying to see if he can hold on to this one for certain here as he is trying to keep that 53. Now, remember what I was saying. His car is not driving the way he wanted it to. Rader 3 seconds off pace as Murphy continues the charge here, but you see him fighting the wheel. You can kind of see a look at his left arm there as he kind of jerking the car around heading through one. And it makes you question here, Stella. He last pit on 76 with 4 tires and fuel. If he is already fighting this car, what does he have lined up for him for the next 20 laps?
More work.
Yeah.
Turn on the fan, buddy. You're going to be sweating.
Might be Arnold Schwarzenegger after this one. As he is going to be fighting that wheel all the way around as we take a kind of an overhead look, see if that car is drifting around on him. Looks like he might have squared that away. Let's see if we can rotate back a little bit, see how Jacob Sirkovich is doing. Jacob Sirkovich is sitting 13th. A couple of drivers trying to toy around with any kind of possibility of making some passes here. I know Caleb Gilbert out there is in front of Tay McDonald. Tay still sitting in that 18th position. He did come down on lap 68. So he had to pit a little bit earlier than everybody else because, remember, he stayed out for that wave round.
But I am looking that we have 18 still on the lead lap at this point, which is very nice.
Yes, we do. And, Chris Nail would, if we end up under caution, would be our first driver with a wave around. Michael Bennett still staying out there doing an excellent job as he slides himself up to 22nd. Unfortunately, he was down to about that 23rd position. 22nd, 23rd. He is at least fighting for a couple more positions to fight into this run here. But man, oh man, he's got to be pretty upset about, how the beginning of this race started. A broken toe link on the right front, and now he's just trying to remain competitive out there and hopefully try to get some of those laps back as we see Jeffrey Israel losing a spot here to Grant Turner. Turner slides up into 11th, so now the two Grants sitting 10th and 11th. Jeffrey Israel sits 12th. Jacob Sirkovich still remains 13th, but that may be for just a moment as Sirkovich looks like he's getting a pretty decent run coming into 1 and 2. We'll see if the 6 of Jeffrey Israel hangs to the outside. He does. Boy, he's definitely...
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Hey.
Well, you can tell guys that have raced around each other for a good while there. That's the kind of respect that you expect each other to do. When you saw Trevor Erhardt and Nick Alves get into it, they've been racing together even longer. So,
yeah, he just came up those 2 lanes awfully fast for my taste, but they held their line and nobody made contact.
All right, this is moving up to the battle for 3rd. Jeremy Burns lost it there just a moment ago as Robert Rader now loses it again, dropping on back. So we are still in the front of this pack, led by 2 Chevrolets of Justice Murphy and Trevor Erhardt. Jeremy Burns and his Ford sitting with another one behind him of Robert Rader's. And James Loveland's looks like he's going to try to break that duo up as he slides into 4th. Remember, I was talking about Rader fighting this car. He's definitely not paying off here as Alice Forget, with one of the only Toyotas out here, still alive and on the lead lap, sliding into 5th, sending Rader on back. So Alice Forget, welcome back. Here he comes now into the top 5, originally where he started this race. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head to commercial. We'll be right back.
And so we had an issue at a plant about 2 weeks ago. It was a traditional municipal wastewater treatment plant. Tremendous foaming on top of the basins. And so me and our lead operator for the site got our heads together. We pulled some samples, did the analysis of those samples. We actually looked at the bugs from the system under a microscope so that we could see the type of bug that was actually growing in there. And what we found actually was that there were very few bugs growing in there. The higher life forms in particular had died off, and we had the single cell protozoa type of bacteria growing in there. So what that told us was we probably got hit with some kind of toxic shock at the facility. So we immediately changed the way we were operating the plant. We changed the return activated sludge rates, the wasting rates, and did a few other things around the facility to try to really buffer ourselves against whatever had happened, because it's too late, right? It's already in the plant. So we're trying to buffer ourselves against whatever that toxic event was, because if it just happened yesterday, it's liable to happen again today. Usually these things go in like threes. And so it's taking real world experience, knowing that we not only needed to look at the analytical data that we were collecting at the time, but also looking at the bugs under the microscope, determining what's going on with the bug population in the aeration basins, and then taking that information, layering that together with the data we collected through analytical analysis, and coming up with a solution based on all that combined, which I think is a pretty unique approach to dealing with a problem like that at a facility.
For the finest in vinyl siding, rain gutters, overhangs, storm and replacement windows, even patios and decks, trust in the experts at Ultimate Siding and Gutters. In addition to being licensed and insured, our technicians are also friendly and courteous, performing hassle-free service and installation at affordable rates. Plus, we provide free estimates for commercial and residential structures. Our entire staff will exceed your expectations. For the ultimate in siding, gutters, and much more, call Ultimate Siding and Gutters today.
It's no secret the real estate market can be a little tricky to figure out. In the Oklahoma City area, you need the experts at the Erhardt Group to guide you. We're one of the top-rated real estate teams in all of Oklahoma. We can help you buy, sell, and invest in real estate. And we've got a dedicated farm and ranch division too. The Erhardt Group, for all your Oklahoma real estate needs, and proud to be a sponsor of the Simtrax Racing broadcast.
100 laps complete here at Texas Motor Speedway. We are here for the Erhardt Group 250. Less than 35 laps remain here, and right now we are still being led by Justice Murphy, who has been on a tear here as of late. He has got everything going for him tonight. I just wish this would have gone for him so much earlier. But Trevor Erhardt, as of recent, has now started to pick up the pace, catching up to the number 12 Chevrolet of Justice Murphy, and right now he's got a mirror full of him. This looks like a much needed lucky break here for Trevor Erhardt, as this is a big redo of what we saw during the stage. So these two going back at it again. This may have something to go with it. And remember, this scheme was only run by Jeff. Who was it? It was Jeff Gordon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So one time at Texas. So Stella, tell me a little bit about Texas. I know there's some other trivia out there.
There is some trivia out there. Here's an easy one for you. Who has the most wins, most top fives, and most top tens?
All right.
And I will give you a hint that it's the same person.
Same person. No kidding.
Yeah, that doesn't always happen. Actually, that rarely happens.
All right. Well, hopefully some of our viewers out there can answer that. Let us know what you think, or put your guesses, and don't Google it. That's cheap. That's cheap. Let's see if we can get at it. All right, now
I wonder
Justice
how many
Murphy.
people just put their phones down.
Yeah, I know. I'll definitely continue on here. Interesting enough, we got the 12 in the front and the 21 behind. The palindrome are going at it here. Right now, it's making it happen. James Loveland looking to see if he can throw his hat into the ring. He's only half a second off pace. But right now, Justice Murphy getting the much-needed draft on the back of it. Looks like, well, it's Caleb Gilbert who ends up going another lap down here, unfortunately. Which Caleb Gilbert is really getting hammered here as of the entire championship points, where let's take another peek at it here before Trevor Erhardt makes this pass, as he is lining up for it. Jeremy Burns in the lead. Caleb Gilbert right now sitting about, I think, a lap or so down, sitting 15th. Rader is third. Trevor Erhardt fourth, is now taking the lead because guess why? Justice Murphy on his way down pit road.
Palindrome. I did not miss that.
All right, Devin Hudgens is getting on it. Terry Earhart's got it. And he said it was a complete shot in the dark. All right.
Okay, that's a good shot.
Yeah, all right, Stella, what's our answer?
It is Jimmy Johnson.
So
He also
it is the number
has
48.
the most laps led at this track. Like over 1,100.
1,100 laps.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jeremy, Justice, you guys got a little ways to go.
Huh. Now, the man, the myth, the legend himself, leading the most and getting the most wins here at Texas. We'll have to see if Charlotte Motor Speedway is that. It used to originally be Lowe's Motor Speedway and was sponsored, the sponsor of Jimmy Johnson's car. Yeah, no, you almost think Texas would then be sponsored by Lowe's. But
No. But it is pretty funny because at one point they were going to call this, Texas International Raceway. They called it that for a little while because some little Texas Thunder Speedway sued them that they couldn't call themselves Texas Motor Speedway like SMI usually does. But money talks. So we have Texas Motor Speedway today and some really collectible items and merchandise that say Texas International Raceway on it.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the fuel calculator regains the lead here. The 77 Chevrolet, he'll go out there and lead him a couple laps here as the rest of the field decides to come down pit. I believe Nick Schell is working his way down as well. Grant Thorpe, the only one yet to pit. And if I were to guess, Justice Murphy is going to be looking to put on some distance here to Trevor Erhardt. Now, remember, Erhardt is getting very close later on into the run, but Justice Murphy makes a huge breakaway during his time out there on the fresh tires. So it's interesting to see Justice getting the separation he needs early on, but it ends up crushing him later on. So I'm interested to see if this continues. as the times between Justice Murphy and Trevor Erhardt are now starting to grow. We're doing it again. Take a look down at the bottom. As you see, it is a 0.8 second gap between the two of them here as they are trying to get rolling on. Justice Murphy trying to keep the hammer down and see if he can squirt away from this one, but not quite yet, as it looks like Trevor Erhardt might just be able to keep him within range here and see if he can keep him at least within contention, because before Murphy decides to take off. Can Murphy hold on for 25 laps as Erhardt had originally battled back 2.5 seconds to reach up and grab a hold of Justice Murphy yet again right before he pits?
Yeah, I was just noticing also Grant Thorpe just looked like he almost stopped. Were these guys just flying around him, or did something happen and he was down below the apron?
It might have been down below the apron. Grant Thorpe did just come down pit on lap 109. He's getting up to speed now. Right now, Alice Forget will be the next one to see if he can pass him here, as Grant Thorpe is rocking and rolling now, trying to see if he can get going. Right now, he will definitely have enough fuel to make it to the end. But a quick pit stop time here for Grant Thorpe. He had a 10.5 second pit stall time. Difference from everybody else. So everybody else looks like they took 4. Justice Murphy's pit stall time was a 15:25. Now here's the big clue here is Trevor Erhardt's was a 14:87. Faster than anybody else here in the top 5. In his pit stall, absolutely. He took 4 and back out he goes, so definitely on a roll. He had a fast time down pit lane and out of the box. So here he comes, as Justice Murphy is going to have to figure out a block for another 22 laps here in this race. Now, Stella, talk to me a little bit about Chapman Environmental Services, one of the finest sponsors we have there to support this league.
I can do that because Chapman's clients are private and public sector organizations ranging from schools and hospitals to municipalities and counties and numerous private sector companies throughout New Jersey. Chapman's operators, scientists, and consultants are focused on providing a high level of client service and technical expertise. Chapman has project managers, regulatory and compliance experts, licensed operators, and field technicians who form a cohesive team to address all the needs of your growing client base. So contact chapmanes.com for more information.
All righty, as you give a quick little shout out there for Chapman Environmental Services, Trevor Erhardt has taken the lead around 1, 2, and 3. Loveland in a second. Raider now drops down to the bottom, and he takes third. So Justice Murphy, leading just about 70% of this race, loses the lead here as Loveland pops the wall. As Justice Murphy tries to run him down. Not looking too good here from Justice Murphy. Oh, little blink out there on the track from the number 12 Chevrolet as Robert Raider tries to hold on to this. Now, we've seen Raider hang out here in the top 3, and then all of a sudden that car gets way loose on him, and he's unable to maintain control. But Justice Murphy looked like he wants to go ahead and trade a little paint there with the Chapman machine out there, as Trevor Erhardt enjoys watching the battle happening behind him, as this is going to continue on through. No issues out of Trevor Erhardt, as he has now gotten the lead, and he is looking to punch his ticket for the round of 8.
Wow. You see, that's not fair. I was watching the paper, and I wasn't watching the race, and I missed it.
Unbelievable. Look at Raider dropping down to the bottom there of Loveland, not allowing Loveland to figure out a route through, and Raider now goes ahead and moves into second. Raider loose. Pop there by Loveland. Loveland now into the wall. What an angle as we take a look back at all these guys. This is some racing we got behind Trevor Erhardt as Justice Murphy slides himself in between this mess and now decides to maybe straighten the car out a little bit here to see if he can line these guys up. So the all about Bugs machine gets squashed up against the wall here, and now he's going to continue on sitting in that 3rd position. So his Chevrolet doing a fantastic job all night here, but he's got to open this thing up and find just a little bit more power underneath that hood and see if he can maintain a podium position here tonight.
Well, he had such a run early on. I think he just has to concentrate on what line he was using when he was passing everybody like they were standing still.
Yeah, definitely during that first stage, he was passing like gangbusters there as they continue on through. Top 10 consisting of Trevor Erhardt, Robert Rader, Justice Murphy, James Loveland, Jeremy Burns now sits 5th. Grant Thorpe sits 6th. Moving on to Alex Forget, Daniel Holloway, Nick Alves hanging on to a 9th position, and Matthew Robinson sitting 10th. So Robinson still trying to reel this in, 12.5 seconds off pace here. Nick Alves will be way up beyond that, sitting about 5.6 seconds off. See if he can get the Candyman behind him here. As Daniel Holloway's been doing an excellent job. We've seen him over the Graceland Shootout Series, trying to see if he could try his hand at some tougher racing out here and staying out of the super late models and into the next gens. So not too bad out of the Candyman as he sits in that 8th position. Right now he's up 3 from where he originally started. So starting outside the top 10, getting possibly a top 10 finish with about 14 laps left to go. This would really work out very, very well for him. But I'm waiting to see if anybody else can figure out how to overcome Trevor Erhardt here, as Justice Murphy looks like he gets an excellent turn exit there as he has to straighten the car out, sliding down toward the bottom. Boy, we got to this just in time as it looks like Rader is about to watch this slip away from him just ever so slightly. Justice Murphy taking a look back. Rader all over him, trying to see if he can loosen him up just a little bit and slide on through. But not too bad as Justice Murphy is starting to really burn up these tires to make up some distance here. And will he be able to catch Trevor Erhardt? We'll have to, that is going to be in the laps to come. 13 to go, and now we are halfway through this one. Trevor Erhardt, uncontested, fresh air. This might be his race.
Yes, it might be, and that would only be fitting, but are we catching up on some lap traffic here?
Yes, he has already gone around 2 drivers, that being Jeffrey Israel and Tay McDonald. Now it looks like Justice Murphy will have to kind of contend with that as well. Right now, underneath is Justice Murphy. He's going to see if he can slide around Tay McDonald here. Excellent turn. And if Tay is anything, he's going to see what he can do to hold him off. As the 2 and 3 slide underneath Tay. Now let's get back up to Trevor and see how Trevor is trying to use Nicholas Shell to help reel and pull away, and he does. Gets almost now a second, 11 to go. So not too bad here by the Erhardt machine during the Erhardt Group 250 here at Texas. So this is working out excellent. You know, I almost say when a sponsor sponsors the race, that's somebody calling it out. That's somebody saying, you know, this is going to be my race. I'm going to come out here and get it done. And right now, Trevor Erhardt's making that actually come true.
Yeah, honestly, we don't see that as much as we would like to. You know, as far as yes, I'm going to sponsor this. This is my track. And then they get wiped out in the 3rd lap. You know, I feel bad.
Oh, yeah. That's still a possibility. I guarantee if a caution comes out, this is going to get pretty dicey.
Ooh.
Hopefully nothing like that happens. Jeremy Burns now reeling him in. He's up to 5th. Check this out. Right now, Burns is really opening it up here. Still about 2 seconds off pace. He's got to see if he can get around Loveland, and both these guys are battling for points. Jeremy Burns still in the top of the points lead. He can't have any bad finishes here because there are a lot of guys waiting to pounce. Continue on through,
it's
9
nice
to go.
To see how many blue are up here in the top 10. That's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, 8 of the 10 are in the chase.
Well, some of these guys are basing how they finish tonight is how it's going to determine the rest of this round of 12, because how this goes from here on out is really, really a toss-up here. Seeing how the rest of this schedule goes. 8 laps left to go here. And we'll talk a little bit about the schedule while we've got a moment as Loveland slides underneath Rader, and Rader got loose coming out of 2. Now Loveland's going to slide into 3rd. Rader's going to push it on through 3 and 4.
And here comes Burns taking the advantage of the 2 of them fighting it out.
Oh, yeah. Well, he might try to see if he can split it on through. We'll definitely see a lot of driving like this at next week's race, which is going to be at Talladega. So you want to talk about these guys kicking it around here at the 1.5 miles. We'll head over a 2-mile track there at Dega, heading down to Alabama, and let them try to kill each other in the hot summer sun. and see how well they do out there as this continues on through. Trevor Keith, look at him down on the bottom. He is sitting 19th right now. Hopefully he doesn't get too much in the way here as he's only 2 laps down. He's still able to compete because he's up to speed. Grant Thorpe drops down to 6th. Erhardt, Murphy, Raider, 1, 2, and 3. But 3 is under fire here as the hot seat of Raider is being taken over yet again. Loveland's trying to see if he can fly through as we are 3 wide heading down the backstretch. And I guarantee you Loveland's got some words here for Trevor Keith. But I've got to say, Trevor Keith came down to lap 121. That guy is on fresh tires right now. He's running his race. He's going to do what he wants to do. But Loveland is going to lose another position. Jeremy Burns is going to get it here.
Yes.
So the Mountain Man on a tear here. He's definitely picking up the pace. And I got to admit, right now, this is exactly what our points leader wants, is this kind of run continuing with 5 to go.
Yeah, he's going to want them battling it out back there, burning out their tires, having to do a bunch of looking to the side, looking to the behind, and he's just out there stretching it out. We're at 2 3/4 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Well, that definitely, Terry is saying longest 6 laps ever. Right now, Trevor may be able to let off the gas here a little bit and actually kind of coast it to the end in case he's worried about fuel. He did come down on lap 107. But we've got a battle here yet again. Check out Grant Thorpe. He's going to pinch him in there. Excellent job here by the 77.
Oh, come on.
Grant
dear.
Thorpe. Yeah, Grant Thorpe trying to open it up here, really sending it on in through 3 and 4. He's got the tires to do it, but it looks like they fail him right halfway through the turn. It looked like he was going to get a 2-for-1 there, slide himself into 3rd, and try to put Raider behind him with 3 to go. So now Grant having to cool off these tires yet again on the outside line. He got a massive run coming off 2, reeled these guys in and tried to shoot the gap, allowing the 9 to get jammed between there and the wall. But now shot for 3rd here. Jeremy Burns going underneath Rob, and this is amazing. Right now, it may be a favorite here of Jeremy Burns to win this championship, seeing how far in the lead he is via the points. But he's got a lot of guys chasing after him here. Caleb Gilbert being one of them, Trevor Erhardt being another. And Raider, who sits 4th in the points right now, as you see, Jeremy Burns dropping down to 5th, now maybe to 6th as Loveland tries to take the outside line. But an excellent job here by Grant Thorpe underneath. What a switcheroo here, down to the bottom. White flag is out. And this is the battle. It looks like Erhardt, over a 3.5-second lead, is going to be able to maintain. Justice Murphy can't quit now. He's got to stay out in front because he's got a battle happening behind him. So far, so good here out of Grant Thorpe and the 77 Chevrolet, battling on through. Backstretch, here it comes. Does Raider and Burns work together to push around Grant Thorpe? Thorpe holding it tight. Down on the bottom, 53, trying to get a run out of 4. Not going to have a chance here. Finish line mark. There goes Erhardt. Here comes, and boom! Grant Thorpe nails 3rd place. Robert Raider sits 4th. Jeremy Burns is 5th.
Wow. Wow. We got a couple of surprises there on the podium tonight. That's awesome. We don't
Holy
get to
cow.
talk to Grant or Justice very often.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting to see now that we're in this 12. You know, the Obi-Wan and his Padawan are kind of at each other's throat just a little bit.
Take a look at Trevor Erhardt here, letting her rip. Wow, what a finish. What a finish. Definitely worked that one to the end. Terry, I guarantee, is jumping for joy right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on, get up against the wall. I got the camera angle for you tonight. I had it. I even set this up. Oh, man.
Come on. There,
Dang.
he's working on it. He's working on it.
All right.
Ah. Come on.
Photo time.
Scooch up. Scooch up.
All right. Excellent job by our drivers here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Wow, wow, wow.
Well done.
Yeah, not too bad there. Trevor Erhardt, Justice Murphy, and Grant Thorpe sitting 1, 2, and 3. Raiders sits 4th. Jeremy Burns is 5th. Holy cow, I thought we were going to have an Element X sweep here tonight, and that was not going to happen. Nick Alves at least gets 9th. Only driver not to get into the top 10 for performance was Michael Bennett, and we saw how tangled up he got. Unfortunately, 30 laps down here for this race.
Ouch. Yeah. All right, though. Yeah, this was a great race. Two cautions in a mile and a half, 134 laps. I'll take that. They just had to get the butterflies out of their tummies before they.
And especially kind of a driver who isn't here often, Carter Linz. You see them there in the white 66. Nailing 12th. Not too bad.
12th.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, especially coming here and battling with this league. That is definitely one to see. So we'll kind of crunch this up here, and we'll try to run our drivers down and have a little conversation. Boy, talk about this insane race here. Guys, hold on just a moment.
Ooh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We catch up with the third place finisher, Grant Thorpe. The Tennessee machine is not out tonight, but man, you are definitely rocking it here at Texas. One of the 3 Chevrolets to get in a podium position here. Actually, what I want to talk to you about is kind of your pit strategy here before we get on to this insane few last passes here. Talk to me about your pit strategy.
Yeah, so first stage, I pitted early, kept topping off on fuel, hoping to make it. Caught a caution there, so everyone was good on fuel there. Then second stage, I stretched the first 2 stints as long as I could. Just try to get lucky, catch caution, pin some people laps down. And then that last stop, I just took 2 tires and I was able to short fuel it. And just kept digging until the end. Managed to find my way on the podium.
Man, that definitely worked out. The 2-tire call was definitely the one to be. Now, I wasn't sure. I'm assuming it was right side tires.
It was. I had no idea if it was going to work or not. Hadn't tried it in any officials or anything, but I figured worst case I was going to lose 1 spot out of the whole situation. So I figured way more to gain there unless I completely binned it at some point because it'd be looser. But thankfully it worked out. Got top 3. Good stage points. So should be in a decent points position. Hope I don't give it all back next week.
Oh, yeah. Well, next week is going to be the tangle up here. The 2-tire call was one to be had, but, man, you were surrounded by about really 3 other drivers, Raider, Jeremy Burns, and James Loveland. Man, it started getting wild there. How'd you know to make that perfect move, slicing it up from the outside line, dropping back to the bottom, getting them each crossed up, and then making your move to scurry away here right in the last lap or so?
That was sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I just tried to stay as patient as possible. I didn't want to do anything stupid and take us all out. Already took Burns out a couple weeks ago in an accident. So didn't want to wreck him again. So I just kind of try to be smart, and then if there's a hole, I'd take it. And fortunately there was, and it worked out for me.
All right, man. Fantastic job. Talladega, next week. I mean, it's a toss-up race. What do we do?
Hopefully survive, if we're lucky. Don't know if I'll go for stage points or not. We'll have to update the points, see how it looks. And it's probably right around most of the day, and hope to outlive everyone else. And
Alrighty.
go for it at the end and maybe snag a win, get lucky.
Yeah, well, Mr. Restrictor Plate out there is going to be a tough one to beat. Right now, I know the Performance Motorsports team, those are all super speedway drivers. I know they would love to come 1, 2, 3. And that one, Grant Thorpe, you're going to have your work cut out for you, my man. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs here.
Yes, I will. As always, you always do such a great job. Thank you for taking care of us. Appreciate you. And my teammates, we had one make it tonight, other two weren't able to, unfortunately. But looking forward to the rest of the year and looking after it.
Alrighty, Grant. Good luck to you, my man. Talladega, that's where we'll see you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too. All right, everybody. That is Grant Thorpe, number 77 machine. That moves us to our second place finisher, Justice Murphy. I'm gonna say it while he's on air. Little too late, Justice. This race, dude, what a run it was. You led 70% of this run. What happened right here at the end?
So I burned up the right front on the last 2 runs because I came out of the pits, the first green flag pit stop. Like I had a 6/10 lead, and then I came out with like a 3-second lead. Like I had such a good in and out lap, and then just kind of burned it up, let Trevor get to me, and then the last run burned him up. Plus was really close on fuel. I actually ran out right after the start finish on the last lap, so was kind of lucky to even make it. But yeah, it was good run. Yeah, too little, too late. It makes it a little more bittersweet to only miss it by 2 points, but just one of those things. I said on the podcast last week I wanted to show up and be spoiler, so stole a stage point, a playoff point from somebody. Was hoping to steal the 3 more bonus points and not let anybody lock in, but you know, Trevor's home track. He always loves to win here, so it's all right if he parks it there.
All right. Well, I will say you took a stage point from somebody else, which is exactly what I want to bring up next. What should this mean to other drivers that are not in the playoffs?
Oh, it just means don't be afraid to get up here and race these guys. And they while they are 12 of the best we've got, if you think you can beat them, come beat them. They invite that too. They don't want anybody to roll over. They don't expect anybody to roll over. So yeah, just get up there and run. You know, the funny part, I told Jacob. Jacob was in team chat, and then we had Daniel tonight preparing for next season. And Jacob said 1 week too late, and I'm like, yeah, but you know, it just proves that I should have been here. I had my chances and just kind of caught the unlucky breaks. But yeah, anybody can get up here and run it. You just gotta stay with them. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, well definitely. You hate to see people check out. I know Tyler Harrison had a horrible start. I'm not quite sure what happened right in the beginning. Man, he qualified on the pole, and it was like his gas pedal was calibrated wrong. It's like something happened, man. I wasn't quite sure. And you almost got tangled up in yet another wreck. And I was like, oh my gosh, this can't be true. You know, how does Justice Murphy stay out of trouble, man, and, you know, moving into the next season, since you're not in contention this round?
Yeah, just try not to make any enemies the next 6 races. And go into next season and just clear mind and go in and try to not end up in the BS I ended up in, you know, the first 11 races. That kind of put me behind probably on playoff points and some other things. Was kind of a rough opening to the season. So when you go into the playoffs with only 4 playoff points, it makes it tough to advance. And so yeah, just go race everybody clean, race everybody hard, but get ready, and you know, we'll see all these tracks again. So just put in the work and try to be ready as I can.
Alrighty. Dega, man, what do we do? I know your former BDE members are some of the strongest restrictor plate racers out there. You know, do we go out there and all for one and one for all, or we try to see if we can help another team push them on through?
No, I'm going to tell you what, I don't want to push anybody into an automatic advance. I want to see them sweat it out at the Roval. That's the fun part about how this round sets up. You get a little madness the next 2 races. You know, you got guys going for it next week, thinking that they don't have a chance at the Roval. And then you got guys that maybe put themselves in a points hole tonight. I know, like Bennett early wrecked, which I hate to see. You know, of course, former BDE teammate, longtime friend. TK got in trouble with the pit strategy there in the stage. Alex did the same. Matt got himself in trouble with little wrecking. So you've got guys that are going to go into Talladega with a points gap or a points deficit, and they could make that only worse and go into the Roval needing a win. And the thing for Bennett and Robinson, they've improved a ton on the road courses. TK is always fast, so the round sets up well for those guys. But yeah, we're just pushing Jacob and maybe Daniel and see what else we can do. I think if I get a chance late and I don't have a chance to win it, if I can't get past him, I would push Bennett up there, be willing to. But no, for the most part, it's trophy hunting for Team BDE.
All right, man. Well, hopefully we'll see that come to be. Justice, shout out time.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you guys. Fantastic broadcast every week. Look forward to watching it back tomorrow and seeing how it played out. But shout out to Chapman Environmentals, Ultimate Siding and Gutters. Race sponsor was Erhardt Group. And then, of course, car sponsor, All About Bugs. Hopefully we can get it parked in Victory Lane next week. If not, maybe a couple other times in the playoffs. But we're going to find our way there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're going to find an incident involving you where both of us screamed.
Yeah.
Well, so,
that's a good thing then. At least the entertainment value was high.
Oh my heavens, it was something else. And
Yeah.
also remember that you are now in lead contention for the round 2 best of the rest.
Yeah, the guy that finished second to open up the last round ended up winning it. So hopefully we can get there.
I hope so. Justice, good luck to you, man, and we'll see you at Talladega.
Yep, thank you guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and the Alabama Mile, that's where we're going to see Justice Murphy as he goes ahead and checks on off. Admin time for him. Now that moves us to our race winner of Trevor Erhardt. Now, Trevor has been doing all sorts of work out there, and especially work on Justice Murphy. He gets him here right at the end after he led most of this race. Trevor, talk to me about this, man. You come away with the Erhardt Group 250. Any coincidence?
Hey, you did what I needed to do. I told you last week we were going to come out. We were going to get the W. We came out. We got the W. Did what I needed to do tonight. Saved the tires. Took care of it. Man, had a blast. Racing with Justice. I was so happy to see him up there. Having a good run for himself. A little peeved that he stole my playoff point there at the stage, but that was a heck of a battle for the stage win with him, and a heck of a battle all night long. He had something for us. I think had he been able to save the tires a little bit better, that would have been one heck of a battle between the two of us. But man, it just everything played our way tonight. Made a good strategy call there with our teammate Loveland. Pretty much all night long we played the right strategy. Was able to put us up in a good situation and was able to come away with it. I do have to apologize to Nick. Early on in the race, we got together down the back straightaway. I don't know if we kind of moved at the same time or if there was a little bit of internet shenanigans going on there, but I do want to apologize to Nick for that little bit of contact. But man, special paint scheme tonight. Got it in Victory Lane. The Erhardt Group sponsoring the race. Got in Victory Lane. God, it feels good. And I don't have to worry about Talladega and the Roval. So, I mean, it's a nice, easy 2-week vacation, essentially.
Oh, yeah. Are we going to redeem ourselves in the round of 8 at Homestead?
Dude, so I was just talking to Justice and Burns about that because Jeremy asked when we were going to start practicing for the Roval. And I said, well, I don't have to worry about it. And Justice told Burns that I was going to go start practicing for Homestead. And I was like, well, I can't let what happened last year happen again after having a dominant car and being pretty much untouchable. I can't let that happen. And I don't want to get too cocky about it. I mean, the setups change, tracks change, conditions will be different. But definitely, I've got that one circled with how much speed we had there last year. So definitely looking forward to getting to that one. But, next week's Talladega, Schaefer, Loveland, Parker should be back next week after dealing with, after being busy with some school stuff. So it'll be nice to have Parker back. But definitely going to work on, getting Loveland locked into the next round with hopefully a win next week or one of our other TSR teammates, getting them their first win of the season. We'll see how the cards play out. But I think the focus is going to be, definitely helping Loveland out as much as we can.
is there any focus possibly being put toward Phoenix? I had brought up last year, and I believe I even talked to you, saying Raider is yet to lose at Phoenix. And that is if he can make it, because he is teetering on the edge of points here for making the Final Four. If he may get a win here and there to get into Phoenix. But he seems to take away the championship every time we get there. And now, have you considered maybe kind of toying around with it? Because you say no, is what you told me your answer was last time of, no, man, we got a whole season ahead of us. Right now, it's starting to line up that once again, this may be your position of slinging into the Final Four. And it may be you and Raider yet again here in the lead with Jeremy Burns now toying around with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking that way, and definitely going to have to get some laps in at Phoenix. I don't want to get too ahead of myself and just start focusing on Phoenix, because then that's when you slip up. I mean, we got Homestead, Martinsville, which, I mean, we're going to a short track, flat track. And anything can happen at a short track. And then I believe Vegas is after that. And, I haven't been the best at mile and a half this season. I think Texas just kind of fits my style of long run, being able to save. I think I've gotten a lot better at that throughout the season. So I definitely want to focus on getting a good run, through the first two races of the next round and making sure we're secured into the Final Four before we start putting any laps in at Phoenix. But once I know we're locked into Phoenix, I don't think my PC is going to see anything other than iRacing as we get ready for that race. But I can tell you this, Patrick, if we get to Phoenix, I will probably turn about 1,000, 2,000 laps before we ever run that race, because I'm not having what happened last year happen again.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. When it gets closer, if you come away with a Vegas or a Homestead win and lock yourself into the championship four, man, I figure there's going to be, whatever happens. It's got to be all about Phoenix at that point. There is no other concentration other than that. But Trevor, you come away with the win here at the Erhardt Group 250. Shout out time.
Shout out to you and Stella for the great broadcast. Everybody at Simtrex, Chapman Environmental Services, Butt Kicker, Ultimate Siding and Gutters, the main sponsors for the league, for sponsoring us and letting us put on these great races. Everybody in the league for tuning, for showing up. I know the numbers kind of dwindled a little bit in the playoffs, but we're still having a good, solid 25, 30 car fields. So shout out to all those guys. Great race tonight. Good long runs. Shout out to all the admin, and for everything they do. My teammates showing up every week. I know Schaefer got caught up early on in an incident. He looked like he was going to have some speed tonight, so hopefully he can bounce back next week. Loveland was running really good until he got up into the wall, so shout out to him. Shout out to Justice for a great performance tonight, being the highest non-playoff car out there. I mean, he showed that he's still got speed, and he's not going to be an easy guy to beat every week. And then, of course, I got to shout out the Erhardt Group for sponsoring the race. Glad I was able to get them in victory lane, because this is the last season we'll probably see the Erhardt Group as a sponsor. It'll probably change names. They'll be back, just in a different name. They'll be back, just in a different name. It's going to be okay.
And you'll give me a new readout?
I'll give you a new readout, but there's going to be a little bit of a change for next season, but they will be back. I think we got one more race to go for them, but huge shout out to those guys, everybody over there on that team. If you're ever in the Oklahoma City area and need any real estate help, definitely hit those guys up. They're the best group out there. Shout out to Trevor Keith for painting the paint scheme. Little Texas A&M Engineering, Texas A&M University paint scheme for my sister who graduated there, and my niece who's getting her ring, I believe, in 2 days.
Right.
So, Aaron, congratulations on graduating. Super happy for you. I was glad I was able to get this car in victory lane. Shout out to my grandparents down in Houston, my mom and my dad, who just drove down to Houston today to go out to the ring ceremony. So shout out to you guys. Love you guys. Glad I was able to get this car in victory lane. My brother-in-law, my sister, my nephew, my niece for tuning in. Guys, this one's for you. Definitely wanted to get this one for you guys, and super stoked that I was able to get this one for you guys.
All right, Trevor, congratulations on your finish, and we'll see how well you do at the Super Speedway in Alabama.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody, that's Trevor Erhardt, definitely. He got a lot of shout-outs there, Stella.
Just a few.
Yeah,
I think he might have actually outdone Jeremy Burns. I thought he had a bunch.
he's definitely got plenty of viewers. All you guys are still tuned in, don't forget to subscribe, guys. Let me know. To me, that's how you can show me a little bit of that love out there, kind of showing me how many guys out there subscribe to my channel. We definitely have plenty of broadcasts going on here Wednesdays and Thursday nights, which, speaking of which, I will see everybody tomorrow for the battle at Bristol there for the Doghouse Racing League. That should be, I believe, 200 laps. And it is normally caution-free with those guys. It is going to be a brutal race, open setup racing with the next-gen Stella. Make sure you get plenty of sleep because we got more work to do tomorrow. But we saw a fantastic race of the Erhardt Group 250. If you want to stick around here for the Racing Revolution League, next Wednesday we'll be at the Alabama Mile. We're heading to Talladega. I got to tell you what, that is going to be a complete toss-up for anybody who can and cannot win. Who knows? We may have a guy in the bottom rung here. Guys in threatening of losing out on the round of 8 come away with a win. And right now, the favorite for the win is Mr. Restrictor Prey to Michael Bennett. Stella, you got 20 seconds. Final thoughts.
Oh, no. Well, my final thoughts would have to be great race tonight. 2 cautions unplanned, but that was just getting your act together. And I'm looking at Robert Rader and Nick Alves. They won the last 2 times they were at Talladega, and don't count them out either.
All right, man. Always penalties can be served here and there, but that's going to do it for us tonight. I'll catch you guys at Talladega. Until then, be well, be safe, be kind. I'll catch all you guys next time.